Hi, and welcome to the show. Again, we thank God you can view the show, whether it's in your living room, your bedroom, your kitchen, or even in your den, wherever area in your home. We're excited to bring you D.A.P Ministries Presents. I'm your host, the Reverend Willie Williams Jr. Excited about the information you're going to get today, but excited about what's taking place down in the Lower Ninth Ward. Gradually, you're going to see some improvement from the devastation that has been taking place since Katrina, and gradually you're going to see improvement in that area. We're asking God to continually bring that area back, as well as other parts of the city that has been hit by Hurricane Katrina. We're 9 years out of Hurricane Katrina. We're going into the 10th year, and we know that some of the areas are back, but there are a lot of areas that are still devastated. And so we're thanking God for the volunteers that the Lord has sent to the help in restoring of our city, our community, and our places of worship. We just thank God. Again, we're excited about our co-host, who's going to act as a guest, Jennifer Baker. She has some information for us. I think on our last show we were discussing something about respect, and she's going to elaborate more about that. Jennifer, it's a pleasure to have you on the show again.
Thank you.
Taken away from your busy schedule, the thing that you used to do, and it still excites me about when you were on the radio.
Yes.
You used to do
Children's Corner.
Children's Corner,
Yeah.
and what always excited me was when the young kids would call in,
Yes.
just to give their memory verse to you, and you could tell they were not reading out the Bible, because the way they said it, it was very fluid, and it was exciting that they were calling in to tell not just you, because there were other people that were listening, and it impressed me that they would take time to tell Miss Jennifer, I want to tell you my Bible verse.
Yes.
And not only that, I think you have some reports about a lot of the young kids.
Yes.
They email you and
Yes.
tell you about their grades in school. And look, all of that's encouragement, because when older people care about younger people, it helps them continue on doing those positive things that are necessary for them to survive in this society.
That is correct. That's correct, Pastor. And thank you once again for having me on. We thank God and give God all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. I want to say hello to Tiffany.
See what I'm saying?
Tiffany, she's keeping that A all across the board.
She's an A student?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And she's keeping that A across the board. I also want to say hello to Damien. Hi, Damien. I'm looking at you, and you're doing a wonderful job, so keep up the good work. And as I stated before, I can't say all of their names, but they're constantly like calling and, emailing and all of that. So we thank God for you. And I'm so glad that you're paying attention to the show, because Pastor Williams and I and DK, we were talking about respect on last week's show.
We're going to continue that, because for young people, is that a difficult thing? Because they use words like beef. What's the word?
Son.
Okay.
Son, come here, son.
Even if you're a girl. The other thing that show, I guess, signs of disrespect. They're still using that word. Somebody dissed me. Are they still saying that kind of stuff?
They're still using that.
Instead of a form of reconciliation is communicating probably some of the dislikes that we have, not only as kids but as young adults. Some things we just don't like. Bad behavior we don't like.
Right.
I know you have somebody. I ain't gonna say that, because that's your daughter. But I know it's something your daughter, one of your daughters. Son. Now your daughter's gonna get you.
Yeah, she is. She is.
You don't really like that.
No, I just, I think, I know we all have grown up in a different era, a different time, and I do understand that there are some things they're going to do that we don't do, some things they're going to say, but I was always taught to respect my elders. There was a time my mother would send my sisters and I to the store. By me being the youngest, I couldn't go alone, so she would always send someone with us. And if we passed a house, and not speak to the person who was living there, you can believe when I got back home,
On the
or my
phone.
sisters, yeah.
Somebody gonna call.
Oh
and say,
yeah,
What's
I'll
wrong
never
with your
forget Miss
children?
Pearl. Yeah, Dora, you know they passed here and didn't speak. So I think respect comes in so many different ways, but most importantly, it's like you stated earlier, and as I tell everyone, we laugh so much before the shows, after the shows, during the show. But you stated, if you want respect, you give it.
That's right. That's right. A lot of people are under the impression that they demand respect, but they don't want to give respect.
But they don't want to give it.
They don't want to give respect.
They don't want to give
In other
it.
words, do you know I'm the man? That's
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know I'm the woman?
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I can visualize that. I can say, I ain't blind.
I am looking at you.
And so there are some things that both men and women should be doing that are respectable for one another. Respectful thing,
Right.
Like you just said, I think the South is known for being very courteous.
Yeah.
I don't know if you go to the country, but when we were going to the country a long time ago, we used to pass in the car, and somebody would be walking on the side of the road, and you don't even have to know them, but they would wave at you.
Hello, how are you?
They would, and some of our friends and relatives say, "You know them people?" I said, "No." They said, "Why you speaking to them?" That's what they do out here. When you're out there, it's like, that's your cause.
I'll never forget moving to Houma with my husband, and I would go to the stores, the different stores like that, and people, how you doing? Good morning, hello, and I was like, hello, because
Did that frighten you a little bit? Because your expression is like
it was
this,
kind of like,
who's these people
well, everybody
speaking to me?
speak to you down
Yeah,
here,
yeah.
and now we want the boys and girls to know that even if they don't speak to you, don't feel like they're disrespecting you, but it's so courteous.
Right.
It's so kind. Be kind.
Be kind.
One of your favorite books that I read on the show.
One of my favorite sayings is just be kind.
Be kind.
It's easier to be kind than to be bad.
What goes around
Comes around.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
karma.
what-
And I found this to be true. Whenever I do something kind for someone, God multiplies it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do it for him to multiply it, but it makes me feel good to do something good. But at the same time, God is telling you, listen, I made you in my own image.
Mm-hmm.
So if I made you in my own image, and if you're my child, then I want you to be who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind.
It's a very good thing. On last time we got together, we were talking about the relationship of I think student and teacher relationship, as well as parent and child relationship, and we were saying some things that I think young people don't. Well, I don't think they say it anymore, and y'all say it's
Yes,
acceptable.
ma'am. No, ma'am.
But from my upbringing, my teacher said, you don't have to say yes, ma'am. You don't have to say yes, sir, anymore. And we took that as a military stand, as for yes, sir. You're at attention and all of that kind of stuff. So now we're moving. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I moved away from that and just being polite and say yes and no.
Yes.
Yes and no. And so. We never did get a consensus. I think you and DK were on the same wavelength. So
Yes.
Y'all still say yes, ma'am. But I noticed when you're talking to me, you didn't call me yes, sir.
Look, Professor.
You didn't call me yes, sir. You didn't call DK yes, sir.
That's because you have so many hats that you wear. Because if I was in your class, you'd be professor, doctor, but I believe that if we just sometimes go back to the old time way, then that way.
How far back you want to go now?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, look, I think there's a level of progression that we should get in, and by I don't think it's a disrespect not to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. I think really meaning what you say, is for valuable.
It's more important.
Well, it's for valuable because you can say yes, sir, and be deviant and thinking, yeah, I got you, yes, sir. Yeah. And
I got you, yes, man.
In other words, you thinking, I'm going to say yes, sir, but that ain't what I feel. You know what I'm saying? I ain't thinking you should be respected. And I've seen that before when you get mad with your parents. Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
I told you what Ina did one day. I went to her school and she was talking to one of her teachers, and then she said, mm-hmm. Now, see, I thought that was disrespectful. And so I said, mm-hmm. Say yes, ma'am. Remember, we were talking about it on last week.
Right.
And she said to me when we got in the car, why do I have to say yes, ma'am?
What she said? She ain't my mama.
I don't even remember. I was so upset. And that's another thing. They think they can say things, but you can't. And I wanted to say, I was so blowed. Now, let them hear me say blowed.
You got me.
Yeah, I got you on that one.
I'm assuming that means you were mad.
If I say, and I do it intentionally, I'll go, that blew me.
So they get mad because you're speaking their jargon?
Yeah.
You ain't that hip. You ain't been talking like we talk.
That blew me. Mom, don't say that. You say that blew me. Why can't I say it?
Because you don't know what it means. It means something different to us.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, and when they say things like that, I said, I'm sorry, that upset you? Oh, So,
were you being facetious, or you were really saying you were really sorry?
I think it was both.
Okay.
I think it was both. I think I was being facetious because I wanted them to feel how I feel in a good way, though, like trying to teach them and then make them understand, how it sounds at the same time.
So talk a little bit about the positive point of respecting one another. What do you look for as an outcome of being respectful to your mother, your brothers, your sisters, or just a neighbor? What do you look for?
I look for, like, for instance, with my mom, I am just thankful. I thank God that she's still here.
That's a blessing.
So what I want the youngsters to know today, or to receive today, if the Bible, why would God make that a commandment? Honor thy father and thy mother. Out of 10 commandments, that's one of them. People forget this part, so that your days on earth will be longer. Why would God find that to be so important?
You're asking me, or you're telling me?
I'm asking.
Oh, it's just tremendous to indicate that we are representatives of God. We are created in the image of God. And so with all of that, it shows that if God wants us to be respectful, because we are representatives and we're the ambassadors, that if we'll cause somebody to either want to be like us or be like God. But the most important thing is that we want to be like God, our Father.
Did you hear what you just said? Be like us or be like God.
Yeah, I had to say that because sometimes that's what we
I like that.
We imitate what we see. We imitate what we believe. We're going to go to break. When we come back, we're going to talk more to Jennifer about respect, and she's a very respectable young lady. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Poor nutrition today will increase Sarah's chances of anemia, add to her healthcare costs, sick days, even stunt her ability to learn. And the thing is, Sarah's not even born yet. Get proper nutrition before it's too late. Call or visit WIC. WIC provides nutrition information, healthcare referrals, even food. Your child has you, and you have WIC.
Mrs. Johnson, good to see you again. This is Mike. You can trust him. He looks just like you. Plus, 2 against 1 is more intimidating when we force someone to sign a loan.
And I'll be sucking up to you in order to keep up the illusion.
So, here are your low monthly payments and interest rate as we promised. Here's where they triple. The rest of this stuff, don't think a lawyer can read this. It protects us. Make sure we get your home when you can't pay us back.
Such a lovely house.
Yeah. But don't worry. We're going to sell you credit life insurance. You don't really need it, but
Puts lots of cash in our pockets.
you look nervous. We better hurry and get you to sign. Or I'll pretend to ruin your credit with one phone call.
Predatory lenders are never this easy to spot. Call us and protect yourself with the facts.
Every day, online predators make their way into homes uninvited and unnoticed. Help delete online predators. To learn what you can do to protect your kids' online life, visit cybertipline.com.
And we're back again. We thank you for staying tuned. We're talking to Jennifer Bacon. She's talking about give a little respect where respect is due. And you're talking about adult or either parent and child relationship. There's a big danger because sometimes I think parents cross the line and say that my child, my son, my daughter, they're my friend. And I think there should be a separation, and so that's why there's a lot of disrespect because you have allowed this child to come in a realm where he's not really permitted. I mean, there's nothing wrong with loving your mother, your father, but remember that's your mother and that's your father.
That's right.
You shouldn't be able to talk to them any kind of way. Regardless, and it happens. We know it happens.
Yes,
and in other words, disrespecting your parents because they don't believe the way you believe. They don't see things the way you see it. They don't dress the way you dress. And if your parents are telling you, well, if I'm buying your clothes, I need you to pull up your pants and wear a belt. If I'm buying your clothes, and the difference is. And there's another area. Even if that young person stays in their parents' house, they owe that parent the respect to be the best individual that they can be.
That's absolutely correct. And I feel strongly about things like that because I feel like you can, I always do the opposite. People get up, and this is going to be kind of funny, and you like to laugh, but I opposite almost everything as it relates to words. People walk around because you see, because at the end of the day, I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that. And I start off and I go, well, at the beginning of the day. You know what I'm saying? It's at the beginning of the day with me, because the beginning is already going to take care of my end.
You said you're really talking about starting in the morning? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You just start in life, period.
Okay.
Okay.
But that young person can't say that because it took you to bring them into the world. So where they beginning at?
With me.
Okay. And so
Does that make sense?
Well, it makes a lot of sense because you have more wisdom than
That's
they do
right.
because they haven't been on the earth long enough
That's
to make
right.
those difficult decisions.
And that's why things like that are so important. And that's why I think our kids should know that you can't just go around being sassy to your mother, your father. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
And they'll know we're Christians by our love. Mm-hmm. And so train up a child while they're young. Mm-hmm. So I just think that if you're listening today, I know your show airs 6:30 a.m. on Sundays and 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
on Sundays.
Right.
And so if you're listening this morning, if you're listening this evening, just, make sure that you are mindful of what you say to your parents.
I like what you say.
Make sure
what I
you're
like what
mindful.
you say is be careful what you say.
Yes.
Because you may not have an opportunity to take it back.
That's right.
Things happen so fast.
That's right.
And so if you say something out of ill will, malcontempt, and something happens to your parent, your loved one, that becomes a heavy burden that you think, well, I'm responsible for that. You're not really responsible, but you need to be careful what you say, because, yes, it affects older people. They take things to heart because you brought out a basic point. If somebody birthed you into the world, they have your best interest at heart because, look, you're still walking.
Why would I hurt you if I brought you in this world? Although there are twisted people, and I will not apologize for this. Yes, if you do that to your kids, if you treat them wrong and treat them bad, something's wrong. You're twisted.
It is.
I'm not even going to be on your side.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I'm not even going to say the name show host, not name show, TV host on that subject. Everybody probably know who I'm talking about. But if you mess with a child, you've messed with me. So yeah, that's important to me. Pastor, let me ask you a question.
You're interviewing me again?
I'm not interviewing. No, see, you're trying to get away with a slick interview. I'm coming down your street, though. So what do you suggest for the kids as it relates to a teacher who is being disrespectful to them? Sometimes people can go out of the way. There was a situation where someone was tardy, and I knew about it, and they have to ask, why are you tardy? So that they could write it down. Well, when the person told them they were tardy, this person said, "You're lying, shut up."
Was that the teacher?
The one on the other side of the desk. It wasn't the student.
Okay.
So if that were your child, how would you have handled that?
Well, did it come back to the parent?
Yes.
And so basically,
if you were the parent,
you'd have to have a parent-teacher conference. You have to have a discussion. And look, I'm suggesting that not only the parent get involved, not only the student get involved, not only the teacher get involved, but also the principal get involved. Because when people say something, sometimes they say, well, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. You didn't say that? My child comes back and say, you said this and you didn't say that? So I've taught my child not to lie on people in authority, not to lie on their teacher. I have a great respect for teachers.
I do as well.
I used to be a teacher, I'm still a teacher.
Well, actually, you still.
Yeah, I guess I'm still teaching.
Well, I think they call you. What is your title, professor or doc? Well, I know you teach. See how I go everywhere. You teach at
the seminary, Union Baptist College Theological Seminary.
Union Baptist College Theological Seminary.
I'm considered a professor.
Right. That's what I thought. That's why I didn't want to say teacher, because I think I
like it. I like it.
But it's
a professor is still a teacher.
More than that.
A professor is still a teacher.
You're still teaching, but see, I hate that about you.
You want to give us a higher title.
Out of all of the things I like, I hate that about you, because it is what it is.
But it is what it is. A professor is a teacher. That's the purpose. In other words, you may want to put him and say, well, he's not an elementary school teacher. He's not a junior high school teacher. He's not a high school teacher. But he's in the realm of a college teacher. Instead of saying teacher, they say professor.
But isn't that what it is? Thank you. Anyway. I got you on that. Now you're not going to come let me sit in your classes like I asked you.
Yeah, I'll let you come. And while you're sitting in the class, hopefully I can teach you something.
Okay. Well, you're teaching me already. So I really do feel like, though, if we just go back to the, some of the old time ways. Okay. I'm not saying all.
Well, let us get back to the basis of respecting people as individuals. In other words, respect me because I just happen to be your professor, and I'll respect you as being a student.
You're a student.
And then from different levels, respect your parents as being your parent. Yeah. And of course, you already said it. The child has to learn how to respect their parents, because unless they're taught how to respect. They're gonna act like wild grass growing up in a big old in the weeds in a lot somewhere. They say, "Well, nobody told me that was wrong what I did." You know, I don't know if you ever did that, but
What?
Used to drink the milk out of the milk carton and put it back in the refrigerator.
I think I've done that.
See,
before.
I caught you.
I think I've done that before.
And you got caught?
Not really. I'm thinking. You know how you don't want to lie.
So
Yeah, I
you didn't
think
get
I've
caught.
done that, though.
You didn't get caught.
No, I was the one out of all of those kids. I was the one when my dad would say, "Tell me the truth now," and I'd be like, "Yeah, Daddy." And my sister, I'm not even gonna call her name. She'd be like, "Nope,
So
nope, might be in her mouth. Not me. It wasn't me." So I believe that there. But it was so funny because that's something else we should let our kids know. Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Tell the truth.
Regardless of the repercussions,
Yes.
tell it. And look, we had to get old to learn that.
I know.
The truth is better than a lie.
It is so much so.
So how come people like to lie?
I don't know. But you know what we're doing today? We're letting the boys and girls know that the truth is better than the lie.
Yeah.
Respect is so much more than not being respectful.
Mm-hmm.
I made that up.
You made that up.
But it was good, though.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good.
It talks about attitude and attitude adjustment.
Yeah.
So you made
Yeah.
a good saying
Exactly.
up that can work. And the good thing about it is, it is just very good to be respectable.
Right. And where are you speaking again? I know that we're going to have to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
But can you tell us the date and time?
I'll be speaking November 23rd at St. John Divine Church at 11 o'clock. Pastor Kenneth be speaking there for their Men's Day, believe it or not.
We don't have a lot of time, but I want to ask you this, because when I go and speak and preach, whatever, do you pray, I'm sure, on a subject, God send it to you, and you think about it, what?
And you start meditating on it. You basically have an idea, and then the idea starts to formulate it. The more you study it and everything like that, God gives you the information on that idea. But when they give you the theme, you start working on the theme.
Right, they give you the theme.
Yeah.
Right, I like that.
Again, we thank Jennifer Baker for being here, taking out her busy schedule. We thank God for DK. He's on assignment. He's doing something.
We love him, but don't tell him.
Again, we say to you, go to a church of your choice and worship the Lord. We invite you to come on out to True Love Missionary Baptist Church, 2710 Phillips Street. Worship time is at 8 a.m. in the morning, and Bible study is at Tuesday, 7 p.m. Come on out and be blessed. Till next time, God bless you. God be with you is our prayer.